Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to take you around the fish room. We're going to look at every single species of Corydoras. I have almost every species, I should say. I've got well over 30, and some are super rare, some are spawning, and some are very common. I mean, you know, I love the common ones too. So if you're looking for Corydoras, if you're looking for ideas on which ones to get, this is the video for you. Let's go take a look. Alright, so this top row of 20 talls, we're going to start with the Corydoras robinii, or the Flagtail cory. In my opinion, this is the best looking cory in my fish room, and one of the best looking Corydoras that you can get right now. In my opinion, they're about 30 bucks each. I have 8 of them in here. I've never got them to spawn, but there's only 2 accidental recorded spawnings of this fish, so I don't feel too bad. Those 2 spawnings from Eric Bodrock, so mighty big shoes to fill. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it's a beautiful fish to look at. Next up over here, as they all just run to the back, is Corydoras amandagenia. And we've got a pelvic acromis in here that loves stacking the sand in the front of the tank. And so, all day long he's moving sand. This tank is never clear. He's hiding in here now because I'm holding a camera. But yeah, all day he just moves sand, so this tank's never clear. But we did get a quick little up-close shot of the amandagenias. And then we're going to come over here where things start to clear up a little bit. But these guys are hiding as well, as you can see. Tons of cherry shrimp in here. There's a female pelvic acromis in here that got beat up pretty bad by her male mate. So she's in here alone. These are Corydoras delphax, which is a more common species. There's about 5 species that you could get when you buy Corydoras delphax, and there's just not a lot of identification done on these fish, so I'm pretty confident these are delphax, but you know, sometimes you'll get agassizii and various other species. I promise some of these tanks are actually clear and algae is scrubbed on them, but for right now, that's all we're gonna see out of the delphax. I'm not sure all of them are being shy, which is pretty bizarre, except for the robinii, which honestly is usually one of the shyer species in the fish room, but wouldn't you know, now they're out and everyone else is hiding. Moving over, now we have a 40 breeder with absolutely stunning Brochis splendens. There's also some Corydoras lortoenzos in there that we just saw. There's one back there. These little guys. Oh, here he comes. Hey, thanks. Thanks for making a cameo, buddy. That's another species that there's really no recorded spawns of, is the lortoensis. They have been spawned. It's just not a very commonly spawned fish, like the Brochis splendens here. The emerald green Corydoras, as they're sometimes referred to. As you can see, they have that beautiful green sheen, and this is just a really beautiful $10 cory. They're bigger bodied, so they can go with bigger fish, a little bit more aggressive fish. Obviously they're armored catfish, so they can't take a beating, but look how big this guy is. So here you can kind of get an idea how big he is. He's probably pushing about 3 inches, I would say, maybe 2.75-ish. You can see the pike next to him for comparison. Here comes another one, and just a beautiful green. If you're after a green Corydora, this is the one for you. Alright, next up we have another rare Corydoras. This is the CW062. One that didn't do very well for me. I don't remember how many I started out with, but I only have 4 now. But these 4 have stabilized. They've been doing great for about a year now. So hopefully, I got a male and female. I can see there's a female right there. That one that just went back. That's clear female by how rounded she is. Here's another female right here. I'm just guessing. It does look like one of them has kind of a slantier snout, so it might be a male. I'm not sure. But they're in here with the L59 bushy nose plecos that are just everywhere. They're bushy nose plecos. Next up, Corydoras elegans, and these ones are pretty cool because these are actually wild caught by Cory from Aquarium Co-op. He doesn't even know I have these. He took them into the co-op and turned them in to be sold, and I drove down and bought them. So these are wild caught Corydoras elegans from Aquarium Co-op. Now I just want to mention, this is not a care video. This is more of an idea type video and just showing you what's out there. If we went over full care for every one of these species, this video would be like 3 hours long. So again, this is just more for ideas and because Corys are cool and they deserve a dedicated video. Next over, if you're looking for a yellow, this is it. Obviously, only their fins are yellow, but this is the CW123 Corydoras. And I've had a big group of them now for a year and a half, and I haven't really tried to spawn them yet, but they're on the list. I want to say there's at least a dozen of them in here. And I don't, they could have spawned in here. It's not a tank that I look at every single day as far as looking for eggs. But like I said, they're gonna get moved up the list, and I'm gonna start working on these ones hopefully in the next couple months here. There are plenty in there. All right, next we're gonna take this beautiful 40 breeder, and here we have Corydoras virginiae. So this is the more common species, but definitely not one that you're gonna see at a chain store. You definitely have to go for an LFS for something like this. And they just have that nice white body with the black spots, the black eyes. They're super beautiful. They get to be a good size. There's a bigger one back here in the corner, but since it's far away, you can't really tell how big it is. I think I only have 7 in here, so once I see these available again, I'll be getting some more. It's just a really nice, classic looking Corydora in my opinion. Alright, so coming next door in this 40 breeder, there are Corydoras loxozonis. I really like that black horizontal stripe, the black dots. Just a really cool, pretty little Corydoras. Alright, back to the 20 talls. Here, in addition to the breeding pair of Apistogramma benchi that are in here, there's just some Trilineatus in here, which is the false julii or the julii cory. I think this is one that we're all going to be pretty familiar with. This is definitely one that you'll see at a chain store, and almost every LFS will carry this one. I got this one for outdoor tubbing, and they spent the summer in outdoor tubs, and I was hoping that upon breaking down the tubs that I would have lots of fry, but I did not. There was 0 fry, so we'll try again in the spring, I suppose. Next up, I got a story to tell you, and it's not a good story. Here are the Corydoras Schwarzei Black, or the Black Venezuelan, and I had a breeding group of about a dozen in here, and I was pulling eggs almost every day, every other day, just eggs, 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 nonstop. And something happened, the tank crashed, not really sure exactly what happened, but all the original stock died, and all the eggs that hatched out and grew up in the tank, those guys are all alive. So these are all first generation spawned by me, every single one of these. I had big fat adults that all died off. As you can see, I do keep notes on my tanks, just a reminder that there are fry in here, and there's usually fry in this tank too. As you can see, feed golden pearls 3 times daily. So we have a pair of Apistogramma Hoignii, and this is probably one of the most beautiful Apistogrammas I've ever owned. I wish you would come out. Here's the female. I know this isn't a Corydoras video, but this guy is so pretty. He deserves to be showed off. He's got a blue face, he's got a red tipped fins, and it's just beautiful. But anyways, the Corydoras in here are going to be my orange lasers, and they are by far, there's not even a close second, the most shy cory in the fish room. Every single one of them hides under that clump of moss right there, and they just never come out. They do come out, obviously, to spawn on the glass. I remove the eggs, put them in a 10-gallon, grow them out. But some of them have hatched out in here, so there are fry in here as well. I'm going to have to reach in here. Look at this guy. Oh, man. He's not even fired up right now. But, there, see? Every time I've come across orange lasers, all they do is hide. Everyone I know, same story. All they do is hide. Can't deny him that. It is a really cool looking Corydoras. Now here's another mystery. This ugly tank is always ugly. Always. This water looks like I could do 100% water change, and the next day it'll look exactly like this. I know, because I've done it. But these are my breeding group, communal breeding. I don't pull eggs, I just let them spawn and hatch out in here. Aspidoras rochi, which is a kind of a rare species. Not super rare, but definitely not one you come across very often, though. If you're unfamiliar with Aspidoras, they're like Corydoras, except generally smaller, slenderer, and honestly, most of them are getting reclassified to Corydoras, so there you go. These guys love to spawn in flow, so if you have no flow, you're never going to get eggs. Just keep that in mind. They usually spawn in the uplift tube of sponge filters, so it's a very easy fish to spawn. There's just not a lot of people working with them, so they don't get enough attention, I feel. I just think they're really cool, though. And then right next to them, I've got a really big group of sterbai Corys in here that also spawn. I actually just removed all the spawning mops. Not that they spawn on the mops, they spawn on the glass. But I was trying to pick out some fry, because I just let them hatch out in here. Well, we got one to come to the front, so there you go. And he's going to spaz out. But if we look all the way back, I mean, we all seen a Corydoras sterbai, right? We know what they look like, pretty common, you can buy them everywhere. Alright, so we're on the next wall here of 12 10-gallon tanks, 9 20 longs. We'll start right up here with what I believe are Corydoras Adolphoi. There was one, here's a guy just sitting right on a rock. There's a good look at him. Got the nice black back with the orange spot right on the back of its forehead. Pretty neat. Not the most uncommon one out there, but definitely a very good looking one. Next, we'll come over here, which this is my pea puffer tank. It's kind of not the best looking tank, but there are Corydoras Venezuelans in here. Here's one right here. There's only a couple in here. I definitely need more. I have one batch of eggs. They spawned once for me, and out of that batch, one survived. So yeah, not enough to claim a spawning report, but there you go. Corydoras Venezuelan. A poor man's Equus. If you know the Equus, they are beautiful. These are very similar with the dark body with the orange saddles. Kind of, not really, but... And now they're gone. Coming over here, the next 20 long. Also in here, we're going to have the 6-ray cory, formerly an Aspidoras, but again, reclassified, like they all are getting reclassified to Corydoras. This is definitely one of the smallest species, very similar size to like a Hestatus. Actually, I don't know technically which one is smaller, but very small. I've had one fry grow out in here. I've never seen eggs, I've never collected eggs, but one of these was a fry that grew out, and that's about it. So if you're looking for a smaller species, this is another one to add to the list. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the scientific name, but as you can tell, the cool thing about these ones is that they hover. So a mid-water Corydora, I've never seen these on the substrate for longer than just a few seconds. Like they'll come down, they'll rest, and then they go right back up. And they just school back and forth, they hover. A really cool fish. Absolutely, I mean, wow, that's a really good shot right there. These have always been one of my all-time favorite Corydoras, and they always will be. So next up we have the Corydoras Leopardus, or I believe the C102 or CW102, I don't remember, I think it's just C102. Hard to keep track of them all. There's a group of about 8 in here and they're winking at me. So this is a more common species and it often gets confused with Trilineatus or julii. When these guys are smaller, they look almost identical. These are way bigger than Trilineatus. As adults, it's very easy to tell the difference just based on size. But when they're smaller, it's definitely possible, and it has happened that they can get misidentified going through the supply chain. So just something to keep in mind when you're looking at these, or juliis, or any of the other half a dozen Corydoras that look like this. Alright, so coming over to the next 20 long, we have 2 species of Corys in this tank, and up front and center here, just all hanging out, are the Corydoras sea tree. These are wild caught. These are very similar to Corydoras astropersonatus, except one has a rounded head and the other has the triangle, kind of slanted head, if you will. And then next up we have Corydoras arcuatus, or the skunk cory. Now there's only 5 and they're kind of shy. They always hide in the plants. And I don't know if I just don't have a large enough school of them. There was a pet store down in Seattle that was having a 50% off sale. They only had 5 of these left. So I got them all, and hopefully I can find some more to help increase the size of school there. A nice little pretty female Apisto in the back there. Starting to notice a pattern of Apistos and Corydoras, maybe? I hope. I should do the same video, but with Apistos. Let me know if that's something you're interested in seeing. I probably have about a dozen species of Apistos at this point, and they're really beautiful. So if you want a similar video with Apistos, just let me know down below. Matter of fact, I mean, this male over here is like flashing for the female. But we're gonna go down to the next row, and boy, do we have a stunner just right out in front. This is Corydoras bosemani. Now, I'll be honest, I did not do well with this fish. I forget how many were in my original group that I got, but about once a month I was losing them. These are captive bred, so they don't have the same issues as the others going through the supply chain. I just don't think they adjusted well to my water. Now, it's been months and months and months since I've lost one, so hopefully of the 3 remaining, I have a male and female. All 3 of them usually are behind this sponge filter back here, but this guy's just up in front, and just a beautiful Corydoras. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So next up we have another pretty rare species like the bosemani's. They're pretty rare, but these guys are Corydoras nackii, and I just love the spots. I love the black stripe there. I love the flagtails on them. Just a really beautiful fish. These were bred by TM Aquatics, and they have done absolutely fantastic for me. And I'm about to move them into a 10-gallon and see if I can get them to spawn. So next on the list to spawn are these guys here. The next 20 long is kind of a hodgepodge. A long time ago, probably a year and a half or 2 years ago, when I first started collecting Corys, boy was I just not having a good time. I've gotten so many species where I'd buy like 12 and only 1 would survive. I mean, they would just all die off within days. It was just not pretty and not fun. So what's left in here are kind of the survivors of that catastrophe, whatever. Never figured out what was going on. I have some ideas, but there's like a Corydoras rebootii. There's Corydoras semi-oculatus in here. There's Corydoras simulatus in here. There's also Corydoras that need to be moved. There's a lortoensis sitting right there, so I need to move that in with the other lortoensis. There's an elegant sitting there. There's a CW123. So it's just fish that were missed when we were moving them around. There's a concolor over here. Oh, I forgot. I do have Corydoras concolor in one of the 40 breeders that we already went over, but they were not out. So there you go. Corydoras concolor. I'll just throw up a picture right here of a Corydoras concolor. They're absolutely beautiful. But yeah, this is kind of just a hodgepodge tank right now. All right, making our way over to the 10-gallon tanks. We're going to start down here with Panda Corys. This is the first time I have ever been successful with Panda Corys. These came from a local fish store in Albuquerque, New Mexico called the Fish Room. So if you're from Albuquerque, go check them out, because this is by far the best quality pandas I've ever gotten. My orange lasers came from there. My black short eye came from there. All just super amazing fish. Except I killed all the black short eye, but we won't talk about that. And then they're also in here with some Corydoras axelrodi. So the one little guy that's sitting right here that you can't see, there he is right there. That's an axelrodi. They kind of stay towards the back, and the pandas stay towards the front. I don't know why. It's just kind of weird, but that's how they do it. So there you go. And then right next door, I've never seen them do this before, so I'm very, very excited. I swear, I've never seen these guys glass surf. This is Corydoras cutomaculatus, or the tail spot cory. Sometimes gets confused with Corydoras simulus. However, once you see them side by side, like, it's very apparent. The black splotch on the back of these guys is bigger. It's actually black. It's way darker. So it's very easy to tell the difference when they're side by side. But, you know, some people still get them confused. That's really cool. I'm really excited to see this. Tomorrow I will be checking for eggs. And we got one just kind of chilling by himself over here. But these guys over here, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name of. Oh, man. And I just scared him away. But this is the Flagtail Panda. This is another first time for me to keep this fish. And unlike regular Panda Corys, these have been amazing for me. Let me get scare some to the front here. Yes, Flagtail Panda. Look at the flag. I love any Corydora that's a flagtail. Corydoras that's a flagtail. Sorry, elitist. I left the S off. Here we go. Sorry, buddies, but we gotta see it. Well, while I'm in here, I might as well take this out. I'm waiting for this Rotala to switch from immersed grown to submersed grown. So that's why it's still in there in pots. But these have done so well for me. I'm hoping to see them glass surfing pretty soon. Both of these came in kind of small, so they've been just growing out. And hopefully, oops, there goes the net. Hopefully I get some action out of these guys pretty soon. Alright, coming up to the next row here, we've got two in this tank, and that is the Corydoras whitesman, which is the pale body, pinkish body with the 3 black spots, which is awesome. And then these guys that look like elegans are Corydoras napioensis, I believe. Not 100% sure they're napioensis. I'm about 99.12% sure they're napioensis. And then these are just Apistogramma nisoni. But there you go, the whitesman and napioensis, which are always hiding the back. I don't know. Some of these Corys, I'll tell you, they hide in the back. They just never come to the front. Now here, another tank that I'm always plagued with this murky water no matter what. I did put a little biscuit down here for them, but they're not falling for it. I'm gonna reach in and try to get them back. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the scientific name on these guys, but maybe I can slowly get them to just hang out at the front here. Look at that. Oh, there we go. Look at that. The dots, the polka dots. I love this. If this fish looks this good in this murky bung water, imagine how good they would look in an actual tank, which these guys are going to get very soon. And this whole tank is getting tore down because I'm very tired. Like, I've got that other tank that does this, I've got this tank that does it, and they're both just going to go away. Like, I'm just going to restart both of them from scratch. You know me, I am a sucker for any fish with polka dots. I am a sucker for, so I had to have them. They were a pretty penny, but worth every single one of them. Oh, we've got nothing in here except the pistos, and I know that because I stuck the net in here to see if there was any Corys in here, and wouldn't you know, there's not. Next will be the top row here, where there's no shortage of black shorts eye here. These are all mine, various generations, as you can tell. Here's the Venezuelan, my one lonely Venezuelan that I spawned. And then there's also some orange lasers in there. You can kind of see it. And the same with over here. We've got some more black short side. There's some Aspidoras in there. And there's some Aspidoras fry growing out. Here's a little itty bitty guy back here growing out. So this is pretty much where the fry go to grow out. This is the one quarantine tank I have, which has the new autos that I just got. Some Rasboras. There's a Rudolph shrimp in here, which there's one right there. You can't really see the red nose. You can kind of tell, kind of see the red nose. They've been doing really well. And I don't believe there's any Corys over here either. Nope. More pistos though. Alright, so here we are on the last tank, and honestly, I already filmed this, but it didn't record for some reason, so I'm re-filming this, and that's why the water's cloudy, because there's Corydoras melini in here, and I'm trying to find them, but I never see them in here. I always drop the food right here, which is why they're all starting to go crazy right here, and then one will come out. Very rarely do I see more than one. It's very bizarre. They're in here, I promise you. I see them randomly here and there. But they just always just stay in the back. I don't know. So Aspidoras pilotis and the Corydoras melini in here. And the melinis are really cool. Really cool. One of my favorite, actually. And they're only like 10 bucks. Oh, well, I guess I'll just have to blast a picture up here and do it the cheap way. Alright, it looks like I finished just in time because lights are starting to turn off. So let me know if you enjoyed this video, which one was your favorite. Also, if you want me to do this with my Apistogrammas, let me know down below. I've got no shortage of Apistos either. If you like any of these fish and you want to get some, I highly recommend Dan's Fish or the Wet Spot Tropical Fish. I have links down below with discount codes if you want to check them out. Until then, I'll see you all next time.